In this video, we are going to talk about first send schedules. First send schedules are some of the simplest types of schedules that can be used with students of all abilities. Simply put, it is a clear way of communicating what we need to do now, which is the first, and then what we need to do next, which is the then. It can be done in any modality, including pictures, objects, and writing, or verbally. They can be used in different ways depending on the needs of the student. Here are some examples of different first send charts. One of the most common reasons we use the first then board is to help with follow-through. Here, we would show the student a preferred activity or possible reinforcer to motivate him or her to complete the less preferred activity first. It is always best to use this strategy proactively if we know that engagement in a certain activity is challenging. This is because if we come up with a preferred activity while the student is refusing to engage in the non-preferred activity, this may appear as a reward for the non-compliant behavior. Another reason the first then board is used is to help students recall what the expectations are and promote independence. This is especially true for individuals with decreased attention span and focus, or those with sensory processing challenges. The first then board and visuals in general may help them stay on task because students have much more time to process visual information as it is in front of them, ideally all the time. In contrast, once verbal information is provided, it is gone. And therefore, students have significantly less time to process that information. The third way a first then board can be used is to support transitions and decrease anxiety or stress. By allowing the student to see what the next task is, this can provide predictability, structure, and comfort to students that struggle with anxiety. As I previously mentioned, because auditory is inherently different than visual information, we cannot assume that the child knows or remembers the activities despite verbal information provided. The reasons I just discussed here are assuming if the first then visual board along with pictures of the objects or activities are used. However, if such visuals are not available, or if the student struggles with understanding these visuals, consider drawing a board and using real objects as representation. Depending on the needs of the students, first then boards can also be in writing format or simply drawn. Look at these examples. Of course, you can also use the first then verbally for many of the same benefits if the student has no difficulty processing auditory information. This can be as simple as saying, first snack, then park.